Good evening, everyone. Hello. Hi there. Thanks so much for joining the Q&A tonight on products. I'm really happy to be here with all of you, and I'll wait for some people to jump on here. But I thought instead of doing the written response today, because it seemed to probably draw some confusion last week, that I thought I'd answer some questions live here on video and then switch it over to the writing format, only just because I feel like if I put it in writing, then it can be referenced later on and that you can use it and continue to use it and word things the way that I would. So hi, I see everyone coming on now. So anyways, I'm not super great at this live thing, but I'm going to look at your questions. I'm going to try to answer as many as I possibly can. I have the next hour here to spend with all of you. And actually, some questions had already been listed in some of the comments, so I pulled some of those out, so I'll reference those. But really, what we'd like to do is have you just write in your questions in this comment thread on this live video. Okay, so anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm so excited about speaking about our products because really, the reason why we are as successful as we are is because our products are the opportunity at our company. More than 80% of our revenue comes from customer sales, and this is proof that we provide so much just consumer value for people that these individuals are continuing to help our company thrive. So I'm very excited about your questions too, because it gives me great insight onto just what you find to be interesting. So the first question I'll answer is, someone had asked, because there seems to be some information about a competitive product that is based on marine collagen, which is type 1. I'll read the question out here. The question says, marine collagen is type 1, most like human collagen, quote unquote, and the best for elasticity and reduces signs of aging. Multi-use plastic bottles require use of preservatives as collagen will oxidize. You need a minimum of 2.5 grams of collagen daily to see any results. So this is what someone had posted, and I wish I'd jotted down your name here, but actually this came from several of you, that this is what maybe a competitor might be saying about their product. And so let me demonstrate to you why that this information is very, very misleading. So first we'll start with the collagen type 1. We actually came up with this whole concept of our active ingredient. Our active ingredient is called liquid biocell. It is actually a mirror of human articular cartilage. And the reason why is because if you take a look at the human cartilage, let's just say you take a sliver of it, look at it under a microscope, you can see that it's actually a natural composition of many different types of components there. There's not just collagen there. Particularly in cartilage, there's type 2 collagen, there's hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, there's even some glucosamine, there's other proteoglycans as well, in minor portions as well. The reason why we say our product actually mirrors the human cartilage is because cartilage in our bodies and connective tissue is actually comprised of all of these different components. So it's comprised of not just collagen, but it's comprised of HA, chondroitin sulfate. Now, if you take a look at our active ingredient, this is the real key behind its success, is that this particular natural ingredient is the composition of all of those components in almost exactly a mirror form of what occurs in our bodies. So a collagen product is actually very limited in a sense, right? Because they're not actually it's not actually providing you all of the different components you need for healthy connective tissue, whether it's your skin, whether it's your blood vessels, whether it's your organs, whether it's your bones and tendons and ligaments. There's more to it than just collagen. So our ingredient actually starts off as collagen type 1 because it's derived from a cartilage source, but it actually acts as multiple types of collagen in the body. And the reason we know this is because we have human clinical trials that shows after ingestion that it actually increases the content of collagen in both the dermis as well as other connective tissue. So in skin is actually comprised of type 1 and type 3 collagen in our bodies, and cartilage is comprised of collagen type 2. it acts because the way that we process it, it actually acts as multiple types of collagen, creating more collagen no matter where. So both in your skin, in your connective tissue, and your joints as well. So that's really important. And collagen type 1 is not like most human collagen. Sure, you have lots of collagen in, the skin is the, obviously largest organ in our body. It's comprised of lots of collagen type 1, but it kind of doesn't matter. All that matters is the research, the scientific proof that in a human body, upon ingestion of a certain product that you're taking, that it actually increases content of collagen. Is it synthesizing collagen in your skin? If it is, then it means that it's producing more type 1 and 3 collagen. Is it improving, certain aspects of when you measure, for example, joint discomfort, is it improving that, and is it repeated in human clinical trials that are double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized human clinical trials that have more than just a few subjects? The clinical trials that support our product and our active ingredient have, actually a couple of them have over 100 different subjects in it, human subjects. So that I think is the most important as well. So this is the reason why we can make the kinds of claims that we do on our product. Reduces wrinkles, reduces fine lines and crow's feet, for example. It actually even increases the blood microcirculation in your skin upon ingestion. It does all of those kinds of things because the science behind it actually says that it does. Now, let me jump to this third part of the question that talked about 2.5 grams of collagen per day. The reason why so this was a conscious decision. I want to make sure that people really understand this. The reason why we put our, collagen in Liquid BioCell into our proprietary, formula and don't really talk about the number of grams is because I knew that this would happen someday. So think about this 15 years ago. Someday that somebody would be saying that I have more collagen in my product, so it's better, or I have this many grams versus that many grams. It actually doesn't work like that. Our collagen, our studies show on our active ingredient at the dosage that we supply it to you in the Liquid BioCell finished product, and we've done even a finished products clinical trial behind this as well, shows and demonstrates efficacy, and that's what matters. So any other collagen on the market actually out there can't use our studies because their product isn't our ingredient. It's a proprietary exclusive ingredient backed by multiple patents. So it's very, very misleading that anyone's out there saying that you need a certain number of grams. Actually, with hydrolyzed collagen, if it's from a different source like bovine, porcine, other sources of hydrolyzed collagen, you actually need, the studies show, more than 10 grams, more than 20 grams a day. That's why you'll see them come in, these powder tubs and such. And so that is, it's extremely, it just shows me that someone doesn't quite understand what our product is when they're saying things like that about our product, because it doesn't need to rely on any other science except for the multiple human clinical trials that have not only demonstrated efficacy in joint health and skin health and connective tissue health and so many other aspects, but frankly led the way for collagen to even ever be credible in this space at all in any supplement that exists today. This is one of the reasons why we were just given, not even half a year ago, the award for Nutri Champion. That award is a lifetime achievement award that only goes to companies or individuals who have actually created a long-lasting impact on the nutritional industry. So with what we have been able to do, we've actually paved the way for many other companies out there. And the problem, and this is the reason why I take my work really seriously with the Collagen Stewardship Alliance, is that there's too many companies that are just kind of jumping on the bandwagon because they think they think that this is a viable opportunity or a great product category to be in case they're looking for growth or revenue or something, and it could be only if their products are backed by science. So every single time, every single turn, I would always go back to asking for where are the human clinical trials that show that the product actually does what you're claiming that it does. By the way, our product, in every answer that I'll give, I just want to make sure everyone understands that our product is a nutritional supplement. It's a dietary supplement, so it's not intended to cure or treat or diagnose any kind of diseases. The FDA doesn't look at our statements, again, because we are considered a nutritional supplement and not a drug product by any means. Now, here's another question, too, from the same person who said, asking whether or not there's any validity to this statement, which is multi-use or plastic bottles require use of preservatives as collagen will oxidize. And I think the real question here was being brought up about selling products in glass or versus plastic. Listen, when I first developed the product, I actually launched it in a large glass bottle, and for the time, it was the right decision at that time. The amount of carbon emissions that are emitted after such a shipping heavy water allowed us this opportunity to be able to concentrate the product so that you didn't have to take a couple of ounces, multiple times a day. Instead, you could just take a tablespoon, twice a day, and that would be sufficient. Same potency, same active ingredient, everything else is exactly the same. And actually, a BPA-free plastic, there's nothing at all wrong with it. Oxidation actually comes from light exposure, really, sun exposure. So certainly if you leave anything out, exposed to the sun, for example, it would have, perhaps some deterioration over time. Our product is actually wouldn't have that because it's a dark, label, as you can see on the bottle too. In fact, even our new look that we're going to be moving into is an opaque bottle. So really, as long as light isn't coming into it over time, the product is preserved just perfectly fine. The other thing is that we require refrigeration. So when it's in the refrigerator, it's not actually hitting light. And also, whenever anyone makes a comments like this, all I do is go back to the science, which is that our product, in the way that is actually administered, had proven all of the kinds of claims that we can say. That's the most important thing that you need to know. So if it was being oxidized, for example, then it wouldn't have created increased collagen synthesis, increased hyaluronic acid, inhibition of hyaluronidase in the body, increased blood microcirculation, decrease in discomfort, joint discomfort, increased, improved quality of life, more mobility, more activity, improved connective tissue health, all of these different improved hair, skin, and nails. All of these results would not have been shown multiple times over, tested over and over again, if it was being oxidized and therefore, ineffective. It's just false, actually. So I don't mind saying that something's false when it is false. And unfortunately, it seems like a gimmicky kind of a marketing reach, I think, more than it is actual fact-based or science-based or anything like that. And this is, again, you need 10 to 20 grams at least. And this is why you see, again, in other products that are out there on the market, you'll see them in big tubs because they need to be able to administer so much of it. Otherwise, it would take way too many pills, so many pills that you would have to take that you wouldn't want to take the product. So I'm looking at some other questions here. So I think what I'll do is I'll jump onto this here. What is the absorption rate of the powdered pill collagen versus the liquid collagen? 35 compared to liquid at 90 to 95%. Is that correct? So absolutely, this is the reason why this liquid biocell is so unique and different and proprietary to Modere. Liquid, there's a few reasons why liquid supplements are actually really critical and important, is because one, your digestive system actually starts in your mouth, so you start to absorb it right away. once you start taking it. There's no excipients that have to go into the product when there are capsules or tablets of the product, et cetera, if it's a solid dose form versus a liquid form. In addition, there's liquids are actually, there's studies behind bioavailability as well. One study that we did back in 2015, I think it was, or maybe a little bit earlier, it compared actually taking even the biocell in a powdered form versus a liquid form, and the results were actually amplified in the subjects, the human subjects that were taking the liquid form. So we know that it actually does have a impact on actually creating amplified benefits of liquid biocell as well. There's another question here that said that technically how much more absorbed is it? One other, I think even more important than the comparison of bioavailability, there have been research on particularly medicine. They tend to study pharmaceutical drugs, liquids versus tablets, for example. And especially there's one study that was done in a nursing home, and they showed that the bioavailability was better in a liquid, but also, dose compliance is actually really probably one of the most important factors here. So people tend to take liquids on a regular basis versus pills on a regular basis. So and that's probably true of you too. If you have to go around all day and carry lots of tablets and capsules all day, it gets to be kind of cumbersome. And some of us, we're probably, the people that do those things. The regular consumer needs something that's easy. So the liquid is actually helpful. It tastes good. That is also another key piece to it being, bioavailable in that sense too. There is, let's see, I'm going to scroll here because I've been talking a lot, so I want to see are Pure and Life. Thank you, Jessica, for the question here. I have to ask, are Pure and Life the same exact thing? And it's just, they say in all the graphics, I've heard mixed answers. I want to know if you get the same benefits, etc. Yes, so the active ingredient, the key behind the claims that we kind of make on our products, etc., on joint health, connective tissue health, skin health, is liquid biocell. That potency of that ingredient is the same, whether you're taking Pure, Skin, Sport, Life, and it's really a preference of whether or not you are taking it for a particular reason or not. So I'll give you an example. So yeah, Pure would actually create the same kind of benefits that Life would. It just doesn't have the antioxidants. So as long as you're taking, as long as you're getting antioxidants from other sources, then that's okay. You can certainly take Pure. Some people may be on a specific, diet where they might not want to take, fruit or have any grams of, carbohydrates at all. So we made the Pure for precisely that reason. So it wouldn't have any other ingredients in it at all. The other thing is that sometimes, some people may be on certain medications or blood thinners, particularly blood thinners, where they're not allowed to have certain fruit, and so because it can interact with their medication. So Pure became a really great option for those individuals as well. Now, the difference between Life and Skin and Sport are really, Sport, we have to go through an extra step to make it, qualify for its NSF for Sport approval on the label. All the products are made exactly the same way in the same, machines, same equipment, same facility. So we know that the other products are definitely not getting contaminated with any kind of performance enhancement drugs or anything like that. But some professional organizations, sports organizations, athletic organizations require a certain seal to be on the label. That actually costs us quite a bit to license every single batch to have that logo on the actual label, the NSF for Sport. So that's why we go to that extra step to, do that for the sport. And then we also add branched chain amino acids. It's got tart cherry in it, which is really great for, athletic performance as well. So it's got benefits, that are specifically geared toward people who tend to be athletic or want, branched chain amino acids as well. So it's a great alternative for, people who are looking for that benefit. Now, I hate to break it to you, but if you are an athlete and you're taking it for your joints or performance and recovery, you're also going to have reduced wrinkles, so you're just going to look better while you're doing all that too, because again, it has the same potency of the active ingredient, and so the liquid biocell will actually be able to have the same kind of benefits on skin as well. When it comes to the skin product, we've actually, since we were going to make different versions, we actually used a different combination of fruits that allow for us to target, skin specific needs. And there's also some phytoceramides in liquid biocell skin as well, which is a great ingredient as well that helps to create that natural kind of barrier between that sits on the layers, on the top layers of your skin, so it actually protects and keeps it moist as well. So that is the reason behind the skin product there too. Again, just because you're taking liquid biocell skin, though, you're also going to have really great joints too. Your joint health will improve, and your connective tissue will become stronger. All of those kinds of things will happen as well. And then I see here someone just asked the difference between sport and skin, so I think I addressed that just a moment ago. And let's see what else is on here. I'm trying to just make sure I get to a lot of the questions here as well. Someone is asking, how young can you start taking BioCell? So, as long as someone is of like adult size, then it's okay. We never recommend any of our products for young children, without their pediatrician's approval, obviously. But yeah, no, I think that, my goodness, if I could rewind time and start taking it when I was like 15, 16, 17, I would have done it as well. So absolutely. Let's see here. There's more questions on here too. Skin is not gluten-free, correct? I think we have that information on our website. So the only thing that I would say would make it not gluten-free is if it had ceramides that were derived from wheat, but it actually isn't. So we've actually derived the ceramides in the United States and Canada, and actually the rest of the world except for Europe, from rice. So it shouldn't have that effect. And even the one that we sell in Europe, it's derived from wheat, but it actually tests as gluten-free when we've done that in the past before. But still, if someone's allergic to like wheat or something like that, then all the formulas of skin are safe to have. The maximum doses of that you can take per day. Well, we've done studies that are dose dependent. So what we did was at 3 times the recommended daily dose, we've done a study, and the benefits actually just continued to increase. That was a inhibition of hyaluronidase study, and what it showed is that more hyaluronidase was actually suppressed when taking more of the product. We haven't tested it above that much, so it could continue to improve even if there was more of that. Now, I'll tell you that from a toxicology standpoint, on the active ingredient, in the beginning, we've done toxicology studies, obviously, and it showed no adverse effects even at 33 times its dose for 90 days straight, and had no adverse effects on any organs or anything like that. So it's pretty safe. And at this point now, we've been selling billions and billions of doses of this, every year on a consistent basis. We have not had any adverse effects reported to us because of the, collagen or anything like that. Let's see here. we have, and so you can take it, yeah, you can take it 3 times a day. You can certainly take twice as much or 3 times as much. I would probably be, concerned about the cost. Obviously, we don't want to put someone, the studies were done on taking the recommended, doses. So if you, and it created effect, so really it's not necessarily necessary, but certainly I've heard lots of people get faster results, for example, when they were taking more as well. Let's see here. How do the products interact with underactive thyroid? We don't study for contraindications because it's not a pharmaceutical drug. I can tell you that I've had hypothyroidism since 1998, so certainly it hasn't had any effects on me. But again, we can't answer that question. It's the most important for you to check with your physician in case there's any concerns there. But we've had any problems with that. Is the chicken sourced from free-range chicken, never hormones or antibiotics? Basically, I will know if the source of the chicken is high quality and organic. It is high quality. It's antibiotic-free, GMO-free, hormone-free. It's a byproduct of chickens that are being used in the commercial market anyway. So, and remember, there's something really important to remember. We're not taking carcasses and skin and scales of animals and putting it together. So imagine how unique this is. Where we're getting this is from sternal cartilage, chicken sternal cartilage. There's some cartilage above the sternum bone in a chicken's body. At the very tip of that, actually it's above the bone, several millimeters above, that one tiny little piece, I'm not kidding, it's like, I can't even show you on here on the video, but it is such a tiny little portion. The reason why we take that little portion only is because that's the only place in nature where the composition of collagen to hyaluronic acid to chondroitin sulfate exist in the same way that it exists in our body. Many people don't even know that we have chondroitin sulfate in our skin. We actually have chondroitin sulfate in our dermis, and again, it's naturally coexisting in our bodies, in our skin, in our joints, with hyaluronic acid, with collagen as well. So that little portion there is the only place in nature that is known to mankind that has the same ratio of all these different components. That's why it really bothers me when people try to compare our product to any other collagen, because we shouldn't even look at our product as collagen. It's just the only way that people really can identify it, because it's too many words to say, like a natural composition of collagen, HA, chondroitin sulfate. So we actually coined this trademark term, which is collagen HA matrix. I think that part of it is really important, because there's competitors who actually even try to add HA from a different source to their formulation just to try to be like us, because they don't have a naturally existing, composition of those components, just like we do in our own bodies. And that's why it works so well. So it's literally comparing apples to oranges. So when it comes to marine collagen, nah, I don't think they really understand what our product is, unfortunately. And I certainly not the scientist as well, because our product is so very, very unique and different than any other product out there in the market. And that's why it's so effective. And this is why we're leaders in our industry too. It's definitely not a Me Too product. We've had over 25 years now at this point of research and development behind this. We're a world leader in this area. And it's because it's effective. Products have to be effective, for them to, be staples in the industry that aren't fads. Certainly, again, no matter how many people, how many companies or competitors want to jump on the bandwagon, we are the bandwagon. All I have to do is just turn and ask about the human clinical trials that support the the claims that have anything to do with joint health, connective tissue health, skin health, reducing wrinkles, all of those kinds of things. The chickens are not kosher. Unfortunately, there's not enough kosher chicken for us to really be able to. I mean, we really have, we have to use quite a bit for us to be able to make this product. Again, it comes from tiny little portions. So, and it's a byproduct, so we're not killing any chickens for our ingredient. So in that sense as well, I think that's important. The fact that it actually never even touches the bone of the animal is also important, because the blood supply never reaches that cartilage piece that we have. And again, even and collagen type 2 is what, our cartilage and animals' cartilage is comprised of collagen type 2. But again, we process this down to peptides in a specific molecular size that allow it to act as different types of collagen in the body. Proof, how is that? How can we prove that? Because it actually increases collagen content in the skin after ingestion. It increases HA after ingestion. It suppresses the enzyme that breaks down these components in our bodies as well. So let's see here. There's more. There were more here. I'm going to try to scroll. I'm sorry if I missed some here. I heard your body can only take so much collagen. If you want more, if you take more, you are just wasting it. That may be true of the hydrolyzed collagen products on the market. Keep in mind that some of them are giving doses of 10, 20 grams of this protein. And it's, again, often the way that this product, like hydrolyzed generic collagen, is comprised or made is through carcasses and skin and bones of animals, and basically that's how they derive that collagen. It has a protein content. That's why they often, you're even seeing protein powders now that are based on just hydrolyzed collagen, for example. But your body really doesn't utilize much more than about 20 grams per sitting. You have to take quite a bit of it for it to be very effective. So in our case, the studies done on our active ingredients were done on 1 to 2 grams of the product, of the active ingredient a day, of our ingredient, not of any other collagen on the market's ingredient, only of ours. So any other product that claims that they only need 1 or 2 grams a day to be effective are not using our ingredient. So they can't rely on our science, because our ingredient is so different than anything else out there on the market. Let's see here. I'm going to try to see if there's, where is the HA derived? From the same place, because it actually coexists with the collagen. So we're not taking HA from one source, chondroitin sulfate from another source, or collagen from another source. It actually just exists the same in nature. Originally, we don't have to do anything to it. I mean, think about the beauty of that. Like, just all we do is just process it down to a molecular weight that actually gets absorbed into the body as well. Let's see here. I will see. Ronit, thank you for your question on how to build business correctly. I think today I'm only taking product questions here, but certainly I'm sure there's lots of individuals here who can help being able to train you on how to build your organization. You're taking naps. What's in it that causes me to have more energy and not have to nap? That's great. Could be just if you're taking Life, for example, it might, and Skin or Sport, you certainly get a boost of antioxidants, which is really important. So that could be giving you some natural energy there. And I see here that there is information on collagen and breast cancer. Frankly, we've been on the market for quite some time, and there's no correlation between our product and breast cancer. I have to say that unfortunately we live in this time and day and age where and it's unfortunate, because it's people just go to Google and they'll just search something and they'll see that this had something to do with that, and so there must be a correlation no matter what you're doing or taking. But again, it comes down to the science behind the specific product, the specific ingredient, And in fact, there's a lot of misleading information because we don't have any correlation between, breast cancer and collagen. If you're concerned about that, though, it's important for you to, talk to your physician about it and help. Maybe they can help understand how ours is very, very different. Let's see here. There's more questions. I've been asked if I can take it, if it can be mixed in juice. Yeah, absolutely. You can mix it with anything you would like. I've heard people making martinis with it. Probably not a good idea because alcohol actually degrades collagen. But let's see. By the way, can I clarify something? Because I think there's a little bit of, there's a urban legend out there, I think. That's what I'll call it. But, someone had asked me also, does it need to be swished underneath the tongue for it to be effective? I'm going to tell you the answer really quickly, and then I'll tell you why there's this like kind of, story like that out there to help you maybe get to the root of this. The answer is no, it doesn't need to be swished underneath the tongue for it to be effective. When we do clinical, again, the proof is in the clinical trials. Our clinical trials had, adults taking the product twice daily. It was refrigerated, and they were taking it from just normally, just as if you would just drink it, without having to do anything with it. And that showed efficacy. So we know that taking it normally will cause the kinds of effects that we intend for it to do so. Now, one of the demonstrations that I was trying to discuss with someone when I first started my company, it was about, this concept of liquids. Why is it that liquids are more effective? When I said that our digestive tract actually starts in our mouth, that's absolutely true. In fact, underneath our tongue has the highest concentration of capillaries than anywhere in our body. In fact, EMTs will give people who are having heart attacks a sublingual medication because that's even faster than an IV is to getting medication to their bodies. So imagine how powerful your mouth can be in the absorption of nutrients or medication or anything like that. And so, in fact, there's even sometimes there's, I think the example that we were using, there's so many different examples. The EMT example. I think I can't remember which one it was, but I think it's like even there's a bourbon or whiskey or something that connoisseurs actually swish in their mouth because it actually helps with the experience, etc. There's so many different examples in our culture of that. So that led to people, holding it in their mouth before they were, swallowing it, which is totally fine to do if that's what you want to do, but it's not necessary to create the effects that you want. So I hope that clarifies the thing. Because what I worry about is when people say to someone, it's not going to work if you don't hold it underneath your tongue for a while. It's actually the very opposite, which is it works just drinking it, twice a day, like normal, with or without food. But there are philosophies that some people believe that actually, getting, holding it in your mouth might actually help, for it to be absorbed, which is totally true, but we haven't done studies to see if that would be more effective than just taking it, as well. So I think it's important to make sure that, people have real transparency and clarity on that as well. Let's see here. Does it need to be 12 hours apart? The answer is, yeah, collagen actually has a half-life of about 12 hours in our body. So the optimal way to take this would be to have split doses, and we've done that from the very, very beginning. Our clinical trials are based on that too. We believe that this is the optimal way for you to be able to get the effects that you really desire from the product. Is it effective if you take it just once a day? Yes, it will be, because you're still creating the same kind of benefits. You're increasing collagen synthesis. You're increasing levels of AHA in your body. That happens no matter whether you take it once or twice a day, but it'll just happen more frequently, and I think that's important for you to have optimal results when you split the doses because of that, the science behind the half-life of collagen in our body as well. Let's see here. There's more here. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll down here. This, what is the natural flavor in liquid BioCell Pure? I have someone with citrus allergy who's asking, I would have to look that up because it's been a while since I have, but the natural flavors tend to come from fruit and vegetables. And so I would have to just look that up because I don't recall at the moment. So that's something that you can definitely, send into our support team, and they will be able to get some answers to you there. And now I see this is best time to take collagen for 6 to 8 hour eating window, just pure break a fast. So if we're talking about just plain calories in fasting, if you're talking about like keto, for example, it wouldn't, because it's got less than 30 calories per serving. So I don't think that it would affect that. It's good if you're ketogenic and can test and see if it has taken you out of ketosis, and it normally doesn't. We have lots and lots of people who, one of the reasons why we developed Pure was really for the people that are on ketogenic diets, so certainly it's been working for them as well. Is Liquid BioCell Health Canada approved? Yes, it is. So we have an NPN number on our Liquid BioCell, and I just thank Health Canada for all that they've done to be able to give us, and require us to have some pretty incredible claims that we have that are actually listed on the bottle of our Canadian label. So yes, we have an NPN number, and it's very different in the United States. We are not allowed to make any kinds of disease claims or anything like that. Health Canada has different standards, and they take a look at our research, and we've been given this opportunity to really be able to communicate what research shows about our product, with our Canadian label there as well. Let's see here. It says, can you explain cycling CLA and if it's necessary? So in the studies, it showed that there was continued improvement for 1 year of taking CLA. So, and then in the second year, there was maintenance benefits. So I think that, I would definitely continue to take it for a year because of the research behind it showing that continued improvement. And then you might want to, be off of it for a little while and then get back on as well. Let's see. If you're arm trim, do you need just 1 tablespoon of liquid BioCell or 2? Okay, I love this question because I think there's a lot of confusion around it too. So, so trim is a standalone product that you just take 1 tablespoon a day, and that's it. You don't need to take 2. You just take the 1 tablespoon. Liquid BioCell, you need 2 a day, right? And trim has half of a daily serving of the liquid BioCell's worth of the collagen HA matrix. So what that means is if you're taking trim, you should supplement with a liquid BioCell tablespoon, for your second daily dose. That would give you the same amount of the daily dose of liquid BioCell that's in the liquid BioCell product. Now, because we know that it's actually beneficial to even have additional, liquid BioCell, what I would do is take liquid BioCell twice a day and add trim. And that's the easiest way to explain it to people. But if they're conscious about how much they're spending, for example, then I would recommend liquid BioCell, 1 tablespoon of each is what you need. Trim 1, liquid BioCell 1. But if you're taking just liquid BioCell, you need 2 tablespoons a day. If you're taking liquid BioCell Sport and you're concerned about the branched chain amino acids as well, then you should take a full amount of liquid BioCell Sport for sure, and then add trim. Okay, if it doesn't matter to you how much you're taking of the BCAAs, then no worries. You can just take 1 tablespoon of each as well, if that's your main concern there. And let's see, I've missed a few comments here while I was talking. Is the collagen safe for a child who is 5 years old in a small dose? I wouldn't. They don't need extra collagen at that age. So I would check with your pediatrician, but Certainly, we don't recommend it for, just like any dietary supplements, we don't recommend it for young children. When breastfeeding, do you recommend it? So that's again a question that a OBGYN or the person's physician should answer as well, because every body is different and different people tolerate different things when they're nursing or pregnant and such, and so it's important to check with their healthcare provider there. And are the protozymes only available for a limited time due to their live cultures and their shelf life? That's not the reason why they're available for a limited time. It's actually just a limited time availability that we have the product in the market. So we thought that it would be a good opportunity for us to be able to launch it into North America for the time being. Another question, which one is best for joints? They're all equally as good for joints. So certainly all of them will be just as effective as each other when it comes to joint health benefits. Let's see here. Do you know how one claims that with the NPN number? I don't know your question, Magdalena. If you could clarify what you mean by that. If you're asking about how can we make certain claims in Canada versus claims in the United States, great question. The FDA in the United States, because we don't have, and there's pros and cons to regulations. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. We would rather not have more regulations in the United States. So the FDA works on an honor system when it comes to nutritional supplements. So they say, okay, here are the rules, and so you can go out and launch a product, but it has to follow these rules. Now, they aren't going to regulate, they aren't auditing, they aren't doing anything about it. But if you violate those rules, then it would be catastrophic, and trust me, I've seen a lot in my contract manufacturing days and such about, anyone who steps over those lines there. Health Canada, though, says it's not necessarily, it's not a free market. Because it has to do with people's health and ingestibles, we want to make sure that no one sells a product in Canada without us taking a look at it and making sure that the product does what it says it's going to do, making sure that that we approve the claims or even recommend the claims as they did based on the research on the product, and that's the only way that you can actually sell in Canada, is if you have an NPN number. So they look at every product, every formulation, all of the science behind it. There's scientists, that take a look at it, a whole team of people. They evaluate it, they prove what the science says on the label, and then they assign it a natural product number. That's what NPN stands for. And so if you don't have an NPN number, it wouldn't be a Canadian approved product. So that's important to know as well. Let's see, it's a little, okay, let's see here. I don't want to get off on tangents here. So the 2 tablespoons per day requires 2 bottles per month. That is correct, 2 bottles per month. Let's see, I have some muscle damage. Will CLA help with the muscle damage? So again, I can't answer any questions about non-healthy states because those would be considered disease states. And so that would be something for a medical professional to recommend whether or not you could take the product. What I can say is that conjugated linoleic acid increases muscle mass and actually stimulates the enzymes in our body that actually stimulate muscle gain, which is important. So again, it would actually help to increase muscle, is what I would say. When it comes to specific damage due to some infection or disease state, that's something that a physician would probably want to answer for you. After a year is from okay to take, and the studies on it have been done up to 2 years, and it showed maintenance benefits in the 2nd year, so it would be safe to take in the 2nd year. Let's see here, do we have? With the new, we don't have different claims in Canada now. It's just actually just, it was a different ingredient, not the active ingredient that gives us the claims that were, that were different, but the but the quality of the product is definitely improved. So we're very, very excited about being able to launch that there. Let's see. People, and let's see here. I'm going to continue to read. What do you tell people who are looking for vegan biocell? Well, so there is no such thing as vegan collagen. So, and by the way, I've been vegan for many, many periods of my life. And, for different reasons, health reasons, environmental reasons, all different kinds of reasons. And I think it's a very, very personal decision when someone is. There are some people who are, even for religious reasons or something. So you really need to make sure that they feel comfortable with it. Now, I have friends that have created the raw food movement. You can't get more vegan than that, and who are taking liquid biocell because they know through the research that the benefits outweigh the cost there. It depends again for the reasons that they're doing it. I'll also tell you that this is a great way to look at collagen. The strength of collagen exists only in animals and humans. It is the difference between, and this really helps to understand what a miraculous molecule this is, because it has the same strength, tensile strength, as steel does, gram for gram. So it is the difference between why literally people will buy leather seats when they buy a car versus vinyl seats. If you were given the choice, would you want vinyl seats or leather seats? You probably want a leather seat, right? Because that'll last you a whole lifetime. The reason why it lasts a whole lifetime is because it has collagen in it. And so this is the key to the amazing functions of our body that we've been gifted with. That strength, it doesn't exist anywhere else, except for in humans and animals as well. Okay, so anyways, it's a personal decision, and if it's something that again, we don't harm the chickens for our product. It's a byproduct. It actually is. We're not using any more, chickens or killing any chickens for this particular ingredient at all. Let's see here. What kind of, someone's asking, hi, Sharky, I like your name. What kind of company is Modere? I'd probably, mention that we have a, fundamental philosophy about creating clean label products, so we are health and wellness, personal care, skincare, household products. If that's what you're asking about, kind of what our paradigm is, our product philosophy is there. Let's see here. Let's see. Hi, Marina. Let's see here. Okay. Thanks, Carmi. Actually wasn't planning on going live today, so appreciate your comments here. I was going to write all these answers out, but I thought, what, since there were so many questions, it was hard to get through all of them in an hour. But I actually take I take multiple liquid biocell products. They're all in my fridge. I have them on tap basically, and so I take them many times a day, certainly. But probably what I do is try to stick to I just take a couple tablespoons twice a day. And there have been times when I only take 1 tablespoon twice a day. It all just depends. When I'm traveling a lot, that's when I have to stick to much less, because I can't travel with a whole lot more at times. And it's not kosher. So from a dietary standpoint, the product would not be considered kosher, although many of the fruits and everything that we use are kosher certified. The liquid biocell active ingredient is not kosher certified, and so it makes the whole product in its entirety not kosher. So same thing with halal. It follows the halal guidelines, meaning people who can keep a halal diet just avoid, pork, and they avoid alcohol. The product has no pork-derived ingredients, no alcohol in it whatsoever. So it's considered halal for someone who's keeping halal, but it's not halal certified. And let's see here. Does the product ship worldwide? We are open in many different countries, throughout the world. But yes, we can ship it to many different countries in the world based on where we are open as well. You can go to the global shop to purchase, if there's someone from a different country, but only in the countries in which we are open. It's best for us not to ship it to countries in which we are not registered, because that could jeopardize our ability to register in the future. And it is, liquid biocell is free of corn and soy, Nicole. It's definitely soy free, and I believe it is, corn free. Just ask our support department just to make sure that there's nothing that happens to be corn derived there. It's been a while since I've answered some of these detailed questions, but I'll check on that for you as well. Let's see. Some of our products have fragrance listed on them. How can I consume? We're using non-toxic ingredients. We have a really strict paradigm when it comes to our clean label philosophy. There are, as many of you might know, I'm on the advisory board for the Fragrance Creators Association. Now, fragrance isn't a bad word in and of itself. So many things are fragrance, and so natural fragrances, etc. And what we've been trying to do is, call for transparency in the industry, because many of the fragrance suppliers actually do not break down exactly what their ingredients are comprised of or made of. And so when we have discovered that there's any sort of our philosophy is to keep natural fragrances in our product. And so when we discover that any fragrance supplier has a synthetic ingredient or component in it, it's like less than 0.5% of the total of the fragrance, not of the product, but just the fragrance, that we look to make sure that we replace it with something that is a natural fragrance. So that's something that we're committed to doing. However, there are very few companies out there that actually have the breakdown of fragrance formulations because they believe it is their trade secret. So that's something that we are advocating for too, is that kind of level of transparency. Okay, let's see here. We have, so I have like 1 minute here left. I'm trying to think of if there's anything here that's easy for me to just be able to give a quick answer to, a burning question if you have any. Great. Well, is there such thing as too much collagen? Yeah, I think I answered that earlier today as well. And if you want to take a look at our product paradigm, you can go to the Live Clean section on our website, modere.com. You'll see all the ingredients that we stay away from. Just as much as it is important for us to use effective ingredients, it's also important for us to make sure that we use clean ingredients, ones that are not irritating, harsh chemical free, etc. So it has been such a pleasure speaking with all of you. I'm just thankful that you spent, some time with me tonight. I hope that, this gave you a little bit of education on what our products are, and especially the difference between our product and other products on the market. I know it can get very, very confusing. Again, keep with this one thing if you can, which is always ask for the clinical evidence, human clinical evidence, by the way. Human clinical evidence is the most important, and not only just once, but with many, many subjects, human subjects, double-blind, placebo-controlled, like randomized studies that prove that the product is actually doing what a company says it's doing. That's what we take a lot of pride on that, in that here at our company, and it really is the key behind our success. And so it says everything about our values, and also to make sure that, anyways, I feel so fortunate, because every time any competition comes up, it actually makes us like grow like even more. So I am grateful for for all of you and your support and your interest and wanting to learn as much as you possibly can. So I'll be back next week at the same time, and we'll take a poll whether or not you want me to just answer, on a video live like this as I see the comments going through, or, go back to maybe some written responses as well so you can reference them back later on. Anyways, thank you so much again, and love you all. Hope you're all safe and healthy, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye. Good night.